So again, welcome. This is the Shabbat, since we started already. This is the Shabbat, and we thank the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem and Mashiach Yahweh Shai. So again, let's thank the Most High. All right. And we thank the Most High for His law, statutes, commandments. We thank the Most High for choosing Israel. Okay. We thank the Most High for that. And we thank the Most High, Yahweh Shai, for the blessings that He brings upon us. Okay, each and every day. The fact that you're able to breathe, that's a blessing from the Most High. Come. The fact that you're able to take care of your family, you got shelter, you got food, you got clothing, that's a blessing from the Most High. And what the Most High said, your daily bread. Did He say that? Your daily bread. Okay, come. He says, your daily bread is what's gonna how you're gonna survive in this setup in these last days. Your daily bread. So we thank the Most High for all those things. You got it up?
37?
Yeah, 37. And so, if you don't have those blessings of the Most High, you're as good as dead out there. Even though you're still alive, you're as good as dead. Right? That's why they got these movies now called these zombie movies. Mm-hmm. Name some of them.
Walking
Dead, Dawn of the Dead.
Mm-hmm. Night of the Living Dead.
Night of the Living Dead. Who are they talking to? Who are they referring to? Don't even refer to us because it refers to us. Esau read the scriptures. They know, right? Their leaders read the Bible. The elite read the Bible, so they know. We're the living dead. All right? So, but we thank the Most High for bringing the truth and the light to Israel, to us, the ones of us that the Most High has chosen to waking up. Okay? So, it's no mystery. It's Yahweh Shai that brings you here. Okay? It's the Mashiach. And if you're not brought in now, then Yahweh Shai still has you out there in darkness. Once you're brought into the light and that veil is lifted up out of your mind, and He brings the light of truth to you, that's the Mashiach. Only the Most High, Yahweh Shai, can give you that. So you may say, well, there's 1,000 people in the Christian churches all across the United States, right? But the light is not given to them. How about that? It's not given to them. They don't have the light of truth. They don't have it. They have the Bible in front of them, but only Yahweh Shai can do what? Open it up unto you. See? Only Yahweh Shai can do that. How about that? They have the truth in front of them. If they have the Bible in there. Some of these churches, they don't have the Bible in it. But nevertheless, a lot of them carry the Bibles in there, right? But they don't have the truth. All right? The truth, the knowledge of truth is not given to them. Even though they have the truth in front of them, but it's not given to them. That's why everybody can't read this unless the Most High can open it up to you. Because you'll get lost. That's why it tells you, blessed is the man that readeth and understandeth. You got to understand it. So it's a blessing that you're able to come in here. Right? It's a blessing. So thank the Most High for that. And then to understand the high holy days and the ceremonial laws, the new moon. When I first came into truth, we didn't have all that. We didn't have, I mean, we knew the ceremonial laws, right? But some of the things since I came into truth, the Most High has added knowledge to us since I came, right? And so the new moon, we were just starting to celebrate that as we were leaving from 1 West 125th Street, we were just now finding out about the new moon. We weren't celebrating that as a high holy day. But when you read the scriptures, it is. We knew about the other high holy days, and we were celebrating the Passover and so forth, but not the new moon. So the Most High increases knowledge. That's why endure to the end. Stay in it. I don't care where you go. You may want to leave the house of David. It doesn't matter. But allow your spirit to remain in the spirit of truth wherever you go. You understand? All right? Don't get suckered back out into the world and worldly things out there. All right? That take the light of truth from you. Because it can. All right? So that's why you stay diligent. All right? So you're going to read Ezekiel 37. This is the first verse. Come? Yeah. Go ahead.
Ezekiel chapter 37 and verse 1. The hand of the Most High was upon me, and carried me out in the spirit of the Most High, and set me down in the midst of the valley, which was full of bones.
Yeah, see? How about that? How about that? The Spirit of the Lord was upon who? The Spirit of Mashiach Yahushua was upon who? Ezekiel. It was upon him. And listen to what he's saying. Listen now to what he's saying. He said the Spirit of Mashiach was upon him and carried him where? Say it again.
The Spirit of the Most High set me down in the midst of the valley, which was full of bones.
But it said it carried him, right? That means, that's literally. Spirit of the Most High and Yahushua took Ezekiel, took him in the spirit now, in the valley of the dry bones. So what kind of level Ezekiel was on. Where Yahushua took his spirit. Sometimes the Most High will put you in that trance. He'll take your spirit out of your body. Yeah, he'll take your spirit out of your body and carry you wherever he wants you to go to show you things. That happened to Ezekiel. Spirit of the Most High was with him. Ezekiel seen a lot of things. So here, the Most High is taking Ezekiel in the what? In the valley. And the valley was what? Full of what?
Full of bones.
Full of bones. That means, if a valley is full of bones, that means somebody is dead. People are dead because you see bones. Wherever you see bones, something is dead, right? Valley of dry bones. Okay, go ahead, Up.
Verse 2, and caused me to pass by them round about, and behold, there were very many in the open valley.
See, there are very many in the open valley. So the valley has many of these dry bones in it. Okay, go ahead, Up.
And lo, they were very dry.
Very dry. So that means these are bones that have no what on them. When you see bones, it means there's no flesh. There's no flesh upon them. Okay, there's no flesh. So it's giving you this symbology here because it's showing you how we are today. Okay, we're like bones with no flesh. Okay? And if you see an individual and you begin to see their bones, that's pretty much it. They're pretty much dead, aren't they? Okay, so when you put a person that passed away in the grave, and all, what's going to eventually happen? The flesh is going to deteriorate, go back to dust, like the scriptures say, and you're going to see the bones. No flesh upon them. Okay, go ahead, Up.
Verse 3, and he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live?
How about that? Can the bones live? That's the question that the Mashiach is asking Ezekiel. And Ezekiel probably said, Lord, you asking me that question? Right? You asking me? How do I know that? So what is Ezekiel's answer? Go ahead, Up.
And I answered, O Most High Power, thou knowest.
See, only Yahweh and Yahushua knows if they can live or not. Understand? So can these dry bones live? So what do bones need to live? They need flesh, right? They need nourishment, right? They need fluids, water, right? They need nutrition, right? Understand? That's what they need to live. So, what is the Most High really talking about here? What do we really need to live? As a nation of people, if we're dry and it's a valley of dry bones, what can these bones live? That's the question. What do we need to live? So go ahead, Up.
Verse 4, again he said unto me, prophesy upon these bones.
Prophesy upon them. Go ahead.
And say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of the Most High. Thus saith the Most High Power unto these bones, behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live.
Right. So now it's a dark saying or parable. These bones are really not dead, are they? They're really not dead. But they appear dead. Why? Because there's no what?
Spirit of the Most High.
Yeah, there's no knowledge in them. There's no nationality. There's no understanding. Understand? There's no wisdom upon them. Basically, no identity. That's what it's talking about. There's no identity on these people. So Ezekiel is seeing masses of people. They're not really dead, but they're dry because there's no understanding of nationality and who they are. So that's why he said the parable is they're dry and they're full of bones because you don't know who you are as far as your nationality, what your identity is in the flesh. Who are you? Understand? And no knowledge. For my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. No knowledge. Can these bones live? All right, go ahead up.
Verse 6. And I will lay sinews upon you.
See, sinews. See, a sinew is what? Anybody know what a sinew is? Yeah, it's something that binds cartilage and muscle and tendons together. And it keeps them tight and strong. A sinew. Come?
Done.
So how does that relate to Israel? We are what? Huh? We're what? Divided. Divided up. Yeah. We're divided up. So you take the sinew to bind the muscles together. If your bones are divided up and are apart from one another, you ain't gonna be able to walk. You ain't gonna be able to do nothing, right? You ain't gonna be able to move. You're not gonna be able to thrive. See, so Israel, we don't thrive as a nation because we're not bound together with the Most High and Yahushua, and neither are we bound together with each other. Divided up. So he say he's gonna lay sinews upon you. Go ahead up.
And cover you with skin.
See? Cover you with skin. Meaning, what is Ezekiel saying? Bones. What do bones need? Skin. On top of it. So what's our skin? So what's the Most High saying? Our skin is what?
The laws, knowledge, wisdom, understanding.
No. Well, yeah. But before that, before the laws and statutes, what's your skin? Who are you?
The identity.
Yeah, your identity. That's your skin. That you are Yasha Allah. That you are Yasha Allah. And then you would begin to do what? Break it down into the different tribes. Yahweh, the Banyamna, Loya, Shemaiwan, see? Zabalawan, see? And so forth, all going down. 12 tribes of Israel. See? Your skin is representing here is your identity, who you are. So he's going to lay skin upon those dry bones. Go ahead, up.
And put breath in you.
See? Breath. Understand? So, breath is what? So, look, when a human body needs oxygen, needs breath to live, right? So what would our breath be? Now you come back and say, law, statutes, commandments. Following the commandments of the Most High. Understand? I will put breath in you. Okay, go ahead, up.
And ye shall live.
See, now, how about that? Are we living now? Hell no. Ain't no life amongst our people now. We're not living, brother. Yeah, our people individually might live in Esau's world. Understand? But as a nation, we're not living. We pretty much cease to exist. Understand? Yeah, we're alive, but we cease to exist. We're not even known as the Israelites no more. We're not even known as the Jews, right? Yahweh anymore. What? We're not known as that anymore. So we pretty much cease to exist. So that's why the Most High asked the question, can the bones live? That's why the question was asked. And then the Most High proceeds to show Ezekiel how he's going to do it. How these bones can live. Okay? So, Ezekiel 37, this is where we're at for the people that just came in. Ezekiel 37. And give him the scripture where you left off at.
Ezekiel 37 and 6.
Ezekiel 37 and 6. Okay? Go ahead, Al.
And I will lay sinews upon you, and will bring up flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you, and ye shall live, and ye shall know that I am the Most High.
See? So the Most High is saying, now we're going to know that the Most High, who the Most High is, because as a nation of people, we don't know who the Most High is. Right? We don't know his name. We don't know his law, statute, commandments. We don't know anything. We're going to know who the Most High is. Okay, go ahead, Al.
Verse 7. So I prophesied as I was commanded, and as I prophesied, there was a noise, and behold, a shaking, and the bones came together, bone to his bone.
Right. See what he's saying? Bone to his bone. There was a shaking. See, this is what Ezekiel was saying. And remember, the scripture says Ezekiel prophesied. So, bring it up to date. Don't we go out there and prophesy? Don't brothers go out there and prophesy? It's the same deal. We go out there and prophesy. And the first thing we say is what? You are the Hebrew Israelites. Alright? You're the real Jews. You're the Hebrew Israelites. We tell the people, you're the Hebrew Israelites. And then we go forth and tell the people who the 12 tribes are. See? Bone to his bone. That's really our job today. That's really your duty today, is what, to bring the nation together in the spirit of a Mashiach. Go ahead, Al.
Verse 8. And when I beheld, lo, the sinews and the flesh came up upon them, and the skin covered them above.
Yeah, see? So how does the sinews and the flesh come upon you? When what? When you prophesy to them and teach them who they are. Understand? That's our duty. And also the sisters can do that too. Don't think the sisters are left out of that. All right? Yeah, brothers go out to the camp and teach, but sisters can teach too. All right? They're not going to teach in the camp per se, but you can teach the other sisters, children, and in some cases, brothers too. We've had cases where brothers said, the sister taught me that I'm an Israelite, and she showed me this in the scripture, and the brothers come right on it. But the only thing the Most High saying the sister can't do is teach a full congregation of people. You know what I'm saying? That's all. But as far as individual or whatever, the sisters can teach. Most High don't stop the woman. He said, a woman shall do what? A woman shall prophesy and dream dreams too. Said that. So what? So that's going to, because a woman can't teach in the camp, that's going to stop her from teaching the word? No. It's just talking about you can't get up, and teach a full congregation. The Most High left that for the priests and for prophets. Okay, come? All right, go ahead, Al.
But there was no breath in them.
See, there was no breath. Go ahead.
Then said he unto me, prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, son of man, and say to the wind, thus saith the Most High Power, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain, that they may live.
So what does that mean? There was no breath, meaning knowledge. Understand? You can teach somebody that they're Israelite and that they're the real Jews, but they still have no knowledge. See? Well, okay, if I'm an Israelite and I'm a Jew, well, what am I supposed to do? I'm from the tribe of Yahweh. So what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to act? Understand? What is my duties as an Israelite, as a Hebrew Israelite? So the knowledge has to come from where? Yeah, from the Most High and Yahushua, but it said from the four corners, meaning knowledge and wisdom, meaning the history, understanding the custom and culture. So that's where you being a Hebrew Israelite, you got to study. You got to now gather history. You say I'm Israelite, okay, let me read it. Well, first you're going to go through the scriptures, right? But then you're going to gather the other books. Josephus. Josephus is like this thick. Anybody here started reading Josephus? Nobody? That's all your history, brother. I would advise everybody here to get the book of the Josephus. Josephus was a Levite. He was in the war in 70 AD. He was in that war. And it was by the providence of the Most High that Titus and the Emperor Vespasian saved him alive Because that was the Most High, because he was to do what? Write the history of what happened. And he wrote it. And you'll read things in there that you're not going to so much read in the Bible. The Bible just gives you, the initial history. Can't give you all the history of Israel, right? Because what does Scripture say about the history of Israel and about the prophecy and what Yahushua did? There's not that many books in the earth that can contain what Yahushua did and what Israel did. Just not enough books. So everything can't go in just the Bible, one book, you understand? So Josephus wrote a lot of intricate history, and you should read it. A lot of intricate history. And there's other books. The Bible mentions the book of Asher. The Bible mentions the book of Jubilees. And you've got the book of Enoch. Understand? That's all history. Yeah, Esau put bones in it, a few bones in it. He's the devil. He's going to do what he does. See? But you being intelligent, you're going to search out and say, wait a minute, that don't belong there. Don't we do that in the Bible? We say, wait a minute, that don't belong there. Understand? So where there's certain words Esau in the transliteration from the Latin, from the Greek into the English, some things have been changed. From the transliteration from the Hebrew into the English, some things have been changed. And then once Esau took over the earth, he put a lot of things in here that a few bones. But see, that's what makes us intelligent, because we being Hebrews, what do? Well, let me go into the Hebrew and see what that says. And by us going to the Hebrew, we say, wait a minute now. It doesn't say that. And so we go into the Hebrew and prove what the truth is. Come? But how would you know that unless you study? How would you know that unless you study Hebrew? So don't ever let nobody tell you don't study your language. And don't study Hebrew, which is your language. Don't nobody tell you that. Don't nobody tell you don't need your language. Yes, you do. How you going to tell a Chinese he don't need his language? Or Japanese they don't need their language? That's how they communicate with the people. That's their language. How you going to tell an Arab that he can't speak Arabic? He'll try to kill you. You know what I'm saying? You try to take his language from him, right? So how is somebody going to tell you that today? Understand? So your Hebrew is very important. How you going to know the Most High's name unless you read the Hebrew? Or Yahushua's name? Because you definitely ain't Jesus. You know that? Definitely ain't Jesus, right? So how you going to know that unless you study? So you got to study. So that's the breath coming from the four corners. And that's why the Most High put us in a position now where we got to study. So we don't like to study, right? Nobody likes to study. We just want it brought to us. Lord, just give me the knowledge. I'll be ready. Lord said, no, it ain't going to be that easy. It's not going to be that easy. Lord, just make me rich. I'll be okay. Just make me rich. You pray for riches. Lord said, nah, it ain't going to be that. If you don't work, you ain't going to eat. You got to labor. The Lord said, okay, I'm going to give you the kingdom. Not that easy. You got to work for that kingdom of heaven. You got to work for it, brother. Understand? Yeah, we're going to get it. And don't think that once Yahushua come and deliver us and redeem us, that we ain't got to do nothing. Oh, there's going to be some work involved. There's going to be work involved. Now, look, I'm going to tell you, what does the scripture say? The more that is put upon you, the more what? The more responsibility. Understand? There's more responsibility. Esau works to keep this thing going. He has to work hard, right? He has to work for it. Yeah, he got riches and all that stuff, but he has to work hard. This is not no easy thing, running the whole earth. It's not an easy deal. See, for our people, because we in ghettos and slums, what do we got? We ain't running nothing. Every day our people wake up in the ghetto slum and do what? Run around in the ghetto. Like a chicken with its head cut off. You ain't no responsibility, no nothing. See how easy that is? But now start to run things. Some of you might have had your own business. It's hard, isn't it? Even running your own little business. It's hard. Because now you got a responsibility. So it's not as easy. But when you're a damn slave and you're working for somebody, all you gotta do is your little task, right? But when it's your business, you got to make sure people are there on time, doing it right, doing what they're supposed to do. That's a hard job. See? So wait till Yahushua gives Israel back to rulership. Understand? So it's not going to be such an easy thing. You're not going to sit back on your ass and do nothing. It doesn't work that way. Okay? Even the angels got to work. Even Yahushua, he's working. We're all servants to the Most High. Oh, everybody. Everybody. Even the angels on down. Even Yahushua on down. Is work. Everybody. It's a job. It's a task. It's jobs to do. Go ahead, huh?
Ezekiel 37:10. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them.
See? He prophesied as the Most High commanded. That's what the Most High commands us. Even today. It doesn't stop. Didn't stop with Ezekiel. Doesn't stop here. So if you brothers, are you ready to prophesy? Even Paul said the greatest gift is prophecy. To prophesy. It's the greatest gift that you can receive from the Most High. You understand? Greatest gift you can receive. You may say, well, I speak Hebrew, I do this, I can sing the Shemaiahs, which is good. All that is beautiful, right? But the greatest gift is to prophesy, right? And to teach the Most High's word, okay? And the Most High don't give that to everybody. He doesn't give it to everybody. And everybody can go out there and do that. Because you're talking about like public speaking and prophecy. Not everybody can do that. See? Okay, go ahead, huh?
And they lived, and they stood up upon their feet.
Yeah, they say they lived and they stood upon their feet because the breath came into them, the knowledge from the four corners of the earth, the law, statutes, commandments, the understanding that they're Hebrews. They went and studied, they read the history, so now breath is in them. That's why now it's like a machine, it can't be stopped. Esau's trying to stop it, but it can't be stopped. And then he went like a dummy and invented YouTube, invented Facebook, and invented internet, dummy. Yeah, 'cause that's all everybody's on the internet, right? And he wants to shut it down because of the prophecies, but he can't. Because now it's a machine, it's can't stop it. Plus you got all these nations using it, you can't just cut it off like that. Even if he make people pay for it, which I hear that's coming, but it's still. We'll find a way to get the money to pay for it. We'll find a way, brother. So this word is what? In the four corners of the earth. Esau can't stop it. He's like, damn. How do we let this happen? But that's the power of the Most High. And he's so foolish, he thinks he can stop it. That's why he's trying to kill you. That's why he's trying to kill you, because he wants to stop it. But it's out there now. Go to any city in America, you'll find brothers on the street, on the corners, teaching the truth, right? And almost in any suburb, you can find some brothers, right, teaching the truth. Go in the island, go to any one of them islands, you can find brothers somewhere around there that know the word, right? Go to Europe, you can find it now. Go to Africa, they're there, right? Everywhere, okay? Go ahead, Doc.
And they lived and stood up upon their feet, an exceeding great army.
See, and that's what it is. An exceeding, and the Most High used a military term there. How about that? Exceeding great army that stood upon their feet. Now this army stood upon their feet were not Christians. They were not Jehovah's Witnesses either. They were not Muslims either. Because they got the breath in them now. See? And they got the flesh in, they got identity now. See? So this is the army of the Most High, Yahshua. When we came out of Egypt, there was over 1 million of our people. 12 families came out of Egypt, marched out of Egypt. We marched out of it. An army. You understand? An army. So that's what's going to happen this time. An exceeding great army. Esau is afraid. See, it started out, you were dry bones in the valley, dead. It ended up, you are exceeding great army with breath in you. Esau is afraid. He knows what's coming. He's very, very afraid. Understand? So wouldn't you rather be on the receiving end of that? As opposed to being a dry bone in the valley somewhere? Understand? So, when people have no flesh on them, they get buried. They're dead. So you don't want that. And some of our people, it's going to be literal. They're already dry bones in the valley, the living dead. So it's just now a matter of the Most High making them really dead. That's what's going to happen. Yeah. Because why? 2/3 have to die. 2/3 have to go. For the sake of the 1/3. There has to be a blood sacrifice for the redemption of the 1/3. That's how the Most High is doing it. Okay? So now the path to salvation. So get Isaiah 49, first chapter. What's our path to salvation? There's a path to salvation. All right? There's a path. And you must walk it. See? The scriptures say what? Wide is the way that leadeth to destruction. See? But narrow is the way that leadeth to the kingdom of heaven. Right? And you got to walk that narrow path. Because if you don't go through the path, how are you going to receive what's on the end of it? So don't you understand? And as you walk in that narrow path, on the right side there's fire, on the left side there's water. And if you don't, and you can see the kingdom of heaven on the end of that path, but you got to walk through it now. Walk through the path itself, and you got to face the danger of walking through that path with fire on the right side and water on the left side. Right. Well, that's what this is. What we're about to go through right now. Jacob's trouble. Jacob's trouble is that path. And you have to walk through it. But you have to walk through it in faith. How about that? In faith. And without too much fear. Because fear, the scripture says fear has torment. When you fear, that's a lack of faith, isn't it? So you have to walk, because it's gonna prevent you from walking the path, because you're gonna see the fire on the right side and the deep water on the left side, and that fear is gonna prevent you, and then your faith is gonna be lost. You're gonna lose faith, and you're not gonna walk the path. Well, then what's gonna happen next? You're gonna be left in that valley, dry bones. You're gonna be buried. So you have to walk this thing. See? And this is what the Most High is asking of us. Have faith. It has to come. Understand? It has to come. You want Jacob's trouble to come. It has to come. You want the 7-year tribulation period to come. And the great tribulation period to come. Because it has to. Understand? Yahushua is not coming to redeem Israel until all these things happen. Okay? And it will happen. Because it's already a done deal. It's already prophesied. Okay, go ahead, Al.
Isaiah chapter 49 and verse 1.
Yeah.
Listen, O isles, unto me, and hearken, ye people, from far. The Most High hath called me from the womb. From the bowels of my mother hath he made mention of my name.
How about that? Now, first we read what Ezekiel, how the Most High called him to prophesy, but now he's calling Isaiah. Isaiah said, what? The Most High, from the bowels, the Most High made mention of my name. He knew Isaiah before Isaiah was born. Isaiah was destined to be what he is, a prophet. He was destined from birth. Actually, before birth, because the Most High sanctioned it. Before birth. You understand? So this is what Isaiah is saying. The Most High chose me. Okay, go ahead, up.
Verse 2. And he hath made my mouth like a sharp sword.
Made his mouth like a what? A sharp sword. What does a sword do? Yeah.
Sword.
It cuts. And when it cuts, there's blood. And sometimes death occurs.
Right.
About that. But the sharp sword is what? It's the word. Isaiah didn't need an actual sword. He probably had one on him, but he didn't need an actual sword. He had the Most High's word. If you just stick to the Most High's word, people will fall down before you as if you had a sword. But you got to know. But a sword, you can't put a sword in inexperienced hands, can you? They're not going to know how to use it. So that's why it's a study to show thyself approved. You got to know how to use the sword. It will work for you. Even David, remember Goliath was spewing out all kinds of disrespectful words like, who can stand before me? Who can challenge me? I'll kill all of you. Even King Saul said, I'm not going against Goliath. And so what happened? King Saul was looking around, who's going to come before Goliath? And then little David said, I'll do it. You know what I'm saying? Who is this man? Yeah, he might be big and tall. Who's this man to disrespect the Most High and our people like this? Who is he? And King Saul said, okay, David. Because everybody was shocked. And little David said, I'll go fight Goliath. Knowing Goliath was like 15 feet tall, 14, 15 feet tall. David was probably, you know what I'm saying? Who knows, maybe about 6 foot at the time. Right? Small. David wasn't a big guy, right? So small. So they were shocked. David said, I'll do it. Because what? Faith, right? He had faith. No fear. Let's think somebody 14 feet now. Would you go against somebody 14 feet? Well, I say, look, you're shy. Hey. I said, wait a minute, Barak. I have faith, but come on, man. They asked me a little bit too much. But that's how it was. It was that type of thing. David said, I'll deal with it. Right? Because of faith in the Most High. So what happened? King Saul said, David, take my sword. David said, I can't take this. Why? Because he wasn't proved in handling the sword yet. You have to be proved in handling it. You just can't take a sword and you're going to cut yourself. You're going to kill yourself. Okay. Okay. I messed that one up. And you can hope you come out alive. You stab yourself. So, and that's what happened. So David said, I can't take this sword, I'm not proved in it. So he had to put the sword down. But he was proved in what?
Slingshot.
A slingshot. He was practicing the slingshot in the backyard of his mother's house.
He was a baby.
As a baby. For a long time. Nobody even knew it. Nobody knew it.
Good.
That was the Most High getting prepared. But he was an expert in that slingshot. That's why I say, maybe we ought to get some slingshots around here. I got a few pebbles I want to shoot at some people. Go ahead, up.
Or when you're in the camp, not in the camp, but with the new people that's in the school, get all you can. So when you do get in the camp, you chuck your sword to be ready.
You're right.
Against all the tough.
Exactly. Because that's your slingshot. You know what I'm saying? That's your sword here. Okay? So, but again, like David, you have to be proven. You have to study to show thyself approved. All right? And this is why we have the student program so that brothers can get some studying and also get some understanding, you know what I'm saying, how to break down the scriptures so they can be, when they go out there and speak in the public, you don't know who you're coming against. You got scholars coming against you. You got people that have so-called master degrees, BA degrees, and BS degrees. All that stuff, right? And so, how you gonna deal with them? And here you are, a little baby, you know what I'm saying? 22-year-old baby, just coming in the word, and you're gonna go up against them? Yeah. The Most High said, I'm going to bring this out through the mouth of babes. What did he say? He said, how could that be? They're poor, they don't have no money, they don't have no job in some cases. They're young, how could they do this? The Most High likes to astound people. Bring his work to manifestation. That's the Most High, he likes that. Understand? So, the same thing with David. So David had the faith, he brought forth his slingshot, he's an expert in that. You know what I'm saying? Took one shot, you know what I'm saying? Slung it at Goliath. One smooth pebble or stone went through his temple, went through his forehead. And that was it. But you know that was the Most High in that rock too. Yahweh is the rock. He's the rock, right? And so once Goliath was dead, then David took the sword. Well, he took Goliath's sword and chopped his head off with his own sword. And I'm going to tell you, that sword wasn't no light sword. Okay? Those swords were not, no light things that you can easily pick up. Those were heavy. They had some weight on them. Heavy weight. All right? So David took it, chopped his head off. The victory. See, the victory really belonged to the Most High, right? But still, the Most High gave it to David because David showed faith. And this is what the Most High is showing us. You have to show faith. Then the Most High will be with you, where you won't fall on the right side with his fire, or fall on the left side with his a large body of water. You'll be able to walk the path. Okay, go ahead.
Continuing in Isaiah?
Yeah.
Isaiah 49 and verse 2. And he hath made my mouth sharp like a sword. In the shadow of his hand hath he hid me, and made me a polished shaft.
See, you're a polished shaft. See, because we sort of come out of nowhere. You come out the ghettos and slums. And you say, well, why did Most High choose me? Because the Most High choose the ones who least expect to be chosen, right? Why would the Most High choose David? He's in the backyard taking care of the sheep. When all his brothers were military men, fit for the battle, can kill 1,000 men with a staff. But how come the Most High didn't choose them? The least expected. You say, well, I've sinned, I've done this, I've done that. I'm not worthy of this. The Most High said, don't worry about that. So if the Most High sanctify you, then you're worthy. And we know some of you are cutthroats and thugs and murderers and
That's right.
fornicators and, you know what I'm saying? The Most High already knows you all that. Some of you come straight out of prison. Yeah, a lot of us come straight out of prison, right into the truth. And if you see their sheet, their resume, you would say, how could the Most High choose somebody like this? Because you would say, wow, they're wicked as hell. But sometimes the Most High have them go through that path, right? They go to jail, be brought down, right? And then somebody in jail somehow, because we got a lot of brothers who go to prison to teach. And then all of a sudden they're ready. They're ready for what? To come out of prison. Now they're a new man. So put on a new man, right? They're a new man now. Now they want to change for the better for the Most High. Those are the type of the brothers the Most High want. So you think the Most High want these brothers who are going to college and, you know what I'm saying, and studying politics and all that? Yeah, the Most High may use them for certain things. But the Most High wants the ones who are down and out, down in the dungeon. You know what I'm saying? Don't have hardly no hope left. That's what the Most High wants. He can work with you then, right? How you going to work with somebody in the politics and into the democratic process and all that? You can't work with that. Because why? Their own mind and their own imagination, their own vain opinion starts to come forward. I can't work with that. I can work with somebody that has nothing, and I can build them up. Yeah.
Because most of the time they know who the enemy is.
Yeah.
Before they even come to the truth.
Before they even come to the truth, right? Right. Understand? Okay, and you had something. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Tell them where you at.
Psalm chapter 25, verse 8 and 9. Good and upright is the Most High. Therefore, he will teach sinners in the way.
Right, see? Good and upright is the Most High. He will teach the sinner. What, to sin again? No. To do what? To abstain from sin. He will teach the sinners to abstain from sin and bring them forward into the truth. Because, you know, the example, look at Paul, Apostle Paul. Most High brought him right in. Paul had told men to commit murder, to kill other men. Right? Persecuted the church. Yes.
Where's the scripture that says he chose the base to confound the mighty?
I think it's 1 Corinthians.
I
Come.
think so.
Yeah.
And that's what it says.
Right? He chose the base, right, to confound the wise, right? The Most High didn't choose the wise of this world. He chose the low and the base of this world to confound the wise. Yeah, you got to move that here to the side. Okay, go ahead,
In verse 9, the meek will he guide in judgment. I'm slacking. Shows in that precept.
Okay.
And will he teach the way?
Did you read the 8th verse?
Psalms?
No.
This was a
No.
precept.
I went to Isaiah
Okay.
49, wherever you left off.
Verse 2.
Okay, go ahead.
Isaiah 49 and 2. And he hath made my mouth like a sharp sword. In the shadow of his hand hath he hid me. And made me a polished shaft. In his quiver hath he hid me.
Go ahead.
And he had said unto me, Thou art my servant, O Israel.
Right, see? He said unto Isaiah, Thou art my servant. And then he said, O Israel, Yashala, you're my servant. See, everybody's a servant. When we get that in our minds that we're serving the Most High, then maybe we can do the right thing. Come? We're serving the Most High. That's what we didn't do. That's why he had to disperse us into captivity. We didn't serve the Most High in righteousness. So even Isaiah recognized that. Most High, I'm thy servant. O Israel, I'm thy servant. What do you want me to do? You know, and Isaiah did some things. Isaiah, read the prophet Isaiah. About the prophet Isaiah, read his history. Isaiah, when the Most High said, Isaiah, you got to walk around naked for these people. Yeah. And Isaiah took, he had to walk around butt naked. And show Israel that you were going to be what? Naked amongst the nations. Because a man walking around with no identity, isn't it? You're pretty much naked, right? You don't have nothing. But Isaiah had to literally show them, this is how you're going to walk around amongst the nations. So he had to walk around naked with his buttocks out. Now, Isaiah said, well, Most High, what do you want me to do? This is what the Most High said. Now, as a servant, can you do that? See, when you're serving the Most High is another level than serving man. Okay? It's a different level than serving man. Okay? So you got to understand that. But that's the level that you want to come on. See? Want to come on that level. Not that the Most High is going to ask you to walk around naked. That was just, the prophet Isaiah. Other prophets, he had to do other things. Okay, go ahead, Al.
Verse 3. And said unto me, Thou art my servant, O Israel, in whom I will be glorified.
See, Yahweh Shai said, so is Yahweh Shai glorified? Not yet. And until we are redeemed and return back to Yahweh Shai's righteousness and begin to glorify Yahweh Shai, the Most High, and Yahweh Shai as a nation, then the Most High will be glorified. It has to come through us. Come? It has to come through Israel first. I don't care what the nations say or do, but it has to come through Israel first. That's like a woman who's married, has a husband, but she don't glorify her husband. Right?
Right.
Because the husband, a woman seeks that glory, or the man seeks that glory from his wife. Come? And if she doesn't do that, he's like kind of not himself.
Right.
He's kind of a little depressed. He's, you know what I'm saying, miserable because he don't get that glory from his wife. A woman is supposed to do that for a husband. So what do you think the Most High, if the Most High said Israel his wife, and he's not getting that glory from his wife, the Most High is like, I'm kind of, I'm kind of angry. I'm kind of, depressed a little bit. Now you see why there's tornadoes and hurricanes. I'm kind of upset. Maybe I'll just have a hurricane and earthquake and kill a few people. Yeah, because the earth is upside down, right? The earth is in total wickedness. So the Most High is angry. So when you see all these things happening throughout the earth, that's the Most High expressing what? Look, when you get angry or you get emotional or you get a little jealous, what do? You sometimes you tear some stuff, don't you? Sometimes, right? I mean, you're better off trying to control your emotions. But what I'm saying is sometimes we get, we get a little, over emotional, and we tear up a little thing. See? So, same thing with the Most High. Most High has emotions, right? Yeah, he has emotions. So he's tearing up some stuff. He's tearing up some stuff. But in righteousness, of course. He's tearing up some stuff. Because he's not getting the glory from his wife. How about that? Okay, go ahead, Up.
Verse 4. Then I said, I have labored in vain. I have spent my strength for naught and in vain. Yet surely my judgment is with the Most High, and my work with my power.
Yeah, see? So the judgment is with the Most High, and his work with the power of the Most High. Go ahead, Up.
Verse 5. And now saith the Most High that formed me in the womb to be his servant.
See? He was formed in the womb to be the servant. So he was made to be the servant. That was his destiny, let's say. He was destined to be chosen by the Most High to be a servant. Okay, go ahead, Up.
To bring Jacob again to him.
To bring what?
Jacob again.
Right. To bring Allah back. Right? To the Most High. Are we back to the Most High yet? And it started way back there with Isaiah, right? Way back there with the prophets. And Israel still. So is the job done? The job is still not done. And the spirit of a prophet is subject unto a prophet. Which means what? Isaiah going to come back, continue to work. Continue the same work, because it's not done. That's why a lot of you brothers are here. There's prophets coming back. And the work is not done. Come? Go ahead, Up.
Though Israel be not gathered, yet shall I be glorious in the eyes of the Most High.
Though Israel, how about that? Be not gathered, I will yet be glorious in the eyes of the Most High. Why? Because you're going to do what the Most High commands you to do. All right? You still do what the Most High commands you to do. Even though Israel's hard-headed, stiff-necked, understand? You're still going to do what the Most High commands you to do as a prophet and as a priest and as a leader. Okay? Because you don't never not do what the Most High, your duties of the Most High because of what Israel is doing. Come? Okay, go ahead, Up.
And my power shall be my strength. Verse 6. And he said, it is a light thing that thou shouldest be my servant.
It's a light thing. So you think, oh, this is so hard. So Most High, that's a light thing. You're a servant of the Most High, but that's light. That's a light thing that you're going to be the servant of the Most High. Go ahead, Up.
That thou shouldest be my servant to raise up the tribes of Jacob.
See? And your duty to raise up these 12 tribes of Israel. That's your duty. Go ahead, Up.
And to restore the preserved of Israel.
To restore the preserved of Israel. How about that? See? So Israel has to be restored in these last days. It has to be restored. In order for Yahweh to redeem us, Israel has to be restored. As a nation, Mount Zion has to be restored. The land has to be restored. Because Israel and the land, Mount Zion, Jerusalem, are one. It all has to be restored together. Come? Can't have one without the other. So what? So a lot of people think we're going to be restored over here. As a nation, we're not going to be restored over here. Come? In this Western Hemisphere, in this region, we're not going to be restored over here. it's going to be in one with our land. Come?
Done.
Which is Mount Zion, Jerusalem, Israel. Okay, go ahead.
I will also give thee for a light to the
I
Gentiles.
would give thee, oh, how about that? Also, so it's a light thing to restore the nation of Israel, but I will also give thee a light unto the Gentiles. And the Gentiles are going to come to thee. And they're going to grab the skirt of him that called himself a Jew. And say, can I serve the Most High with you? Can I go to Jerusalem with you? Can you show me the way to the Most High? They're going to grab hold of you, brothers and sisters too. Can you show me what the Most High is talking about? It's coming. Because you're going to be a light unto the Gentiles. Go ahead, Up.
That thou mayest be my salvation unto the end of the earth.
See? That thou mayest be my salvation unto the ends of the earth. And so the Most High is going to have the nations come to Israel for that light, for the understanding how to serve the Most High. For the nation that will not serve the Most High shall serve Israel, serve the Most High through Israel shall perish, the scripture says. They will perish. They have to acknowledge Yahshua. They have to. They have to acknowledge Israel. Okay, come. Go ahead, Up.
Verse 7. Thus saith the Most High, the Redeemer of Israel.
See? Redeemer of who?
The Redeemer of Israel.
Everybody?
The Redeemer of
How
Israel.
about that? You know? The whole earth?
The Redeemer of Israel.
See? He's only going to redeem Israel. Come. Go ahead, Up.
And his Holy One.
And his Holy One. All right? Yahushua and Mashiach. Go ahead, Up.
To him whom man despiseth.
Yeah, see? Everybody despises the Mashiach Yahushua, right? Come. All right? Go ahead.
To him whom the nation abhorreth.
See, the nations abhor the Mashiach Yahushua. How about that? They abhor the Mashiach. They love Jesus, but they abhor the Mashiach. Big difference, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because Jesus is Zeus, Satan. That's who Jesus is. That's Satan. But the Mashiach Yahushua is our Redeemer. Big difference. That's our Savior. Come? Big difference. All right? Because Yahushua said, I hate the nations. Didn't he say that? I testify that all the works thereof are evil in all the world. That's why they hate me. This is what he was telling the disciples. They hate me. They don't hate you, they hate me. And I testify that all the works in the world are evil. This is why the nations hate Yahushua. Because everything that's out there is evil. Name me something out there the Lord loves. Nothing. See, people try to find something. Oh, you got Christmas, you got it's for the kids. All that stuff, you know what I'm saying? No, nothing. Nothing. If the Lord loved Christmas, that's why you have a Christmas tree and there's people in the ghetto, the Christmas tree burn up, catch fire, and then the kids die, all the kids die in the house. How could the Lord love Christmas? They love Christmas trees? No. You hear that every year. Somebody getting burnt up by a Christmas tree. That's Yahushua right there. He's telling you I don't like it, but people are going to keep on doing it, right? Keep on. Just keep on throwing it in Yahushua's face. And he's telling me I wasn't even born on that day. See? So come on. So they hate Yahushua for that. Understand? And they know he's coming to destroy the whole earth. Destroy the nations, destroy the kingdoms of this earth. They know it. So they hate him for that. You don't think with all the wealth of the nations, what they have? You think they want Yahushua? A black man coming out of heaven? Who they call the nigger? To destroy everything? That's why they kill you in the streets. Because you represent Yahushua. And they're killing black folk in the streets. They're killing the black woman too. The black woman is going to escape. She's getting killed just like a black man. You represent, you're the children of Israel. They're coming after you. They can't get you Yahushua no more. They're coming after the children. So just think about that. So that's why you have to be in that light. You have to be in Yahushua for the protection. You know what I'm saying? For the protection. Yahweh Shai gonna protect. He said, all those thou, Yahweh, that you gave me, I haven't lost one. So you may go through some things out there, but he said, don't worry about it. I haven't lost one. Okay. All right, go ahead.
To him whom the nation abhorreth, to a servant of rulers, kings shall see and arise, princes also shall worship.
Yeah, see, they're going to worship Yahweh Shai. They're going to rise up and worship. Okay? And you think Yahweh Shai is going to come down and they're going to bow? No. They're going to worship Yahweh through Yahshua. Come? That's how they're going to worship the Mashiach Yahweh Shai. So they're going to bow before you in righteousness. That's how they're going to worship Yahweh Shai in the Most High. Okay, go ahead,
Because of the Most High that is faithful.
The Most High is faithful. That means what? That this shall come to pass. The Most High is faithful. It shall come to pass. This word shall come to pass. Okay, come. Go ahead.
And the Holy One of Israel, and he shall choose thee.
He's going to choose thee. He will choose thee. Go ahead.
Thus saith the Most High, in an acceptable time have I heard thee.
How about that? In the acceptable time have the Most High heard you. So what does that mean? That the Most High has an acceptable time for your redemption. Even though you pray to the Most High every day for, for salvation and forgiveness of sins and for the kingdom of heaven. But the Most High said there's an acceptable time for that. So it's not like the Most High didn't hear your prayer, but there's an acceptable time for it. Come? Because everything has to come to pass. You understand that? This all has to happen. We're talking about Jacob's trouble, 7-year tribulation period, the destruction of the nations, the Antichrist rising up, the death, destruction, and bloodshed. All these things have to happen. The great tribulation period, all that has to happen, right? Before the what? The acceptable time. It can't happen before that. Come? All right, go ahead.
And in the day of salvation.
And that's when your day of salvation. See, in the day of salvation,
have I helped thee.
Then he's going to help you. So he heard your prayer, but it's an acceptable time of your salvation. He heard your prayer. He will hear your prayer and then deliver you, right? And accept your prayer. Now there are times when you pray and you need that help instantly. Then the Most High will hear your prayer and we give you the blessing accordingly. Come? On this side of our captivity. All right. But other times when you are praying for the kingdom of heaven and salvation, Most I said that's in a time acceptable, an accepted time. Come? Because all these different things have to happen. Okay, go ahead. Go to 2 Corinthians 6 and 2. 2 Corinthians 6 and 2.
2 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 2. For he saith, I have heard thee in a time accepted.
Right. Now here it is, right? Isaiah just prophesied that. Now here we are in the Gospels. Now here go Paul prophesying the same thing. Paul has gotten it from, of course, the Old Testament, from Isaiah. Go ahead, read it. Read it again.
2 Corinthians 6 and 2. For he saith, I have heard thee in a time accepted.
I've heard thee in a time accepted. Go ahead.
And in the day of salvation have I succored thee.
See, in the day of salvation, then I'm going to secure you. That means your prayer will be answered in the acceptable time of the Most High. So it's not so much when you want it, right? It's in the acceptable time. Look how long it took Daniel to get his prayer answered by the Most High in Yahweh Shai. It says it took 21 days for his prayer to be answered. Because Yahushua just couldn't come right away. He had to fight Satan. He had to fight them demonic spirits. Right? And so here you are all impatient. All right? And looking for Yahushua to come right away. But sometimes it's what? In the acceptable time. Okay? Get Psalms 14 and 7. Psalms 14 and 7. Real
Psalms chapter 14 and verse 7.
Okay. Go
Oh,
ahead,
that the salvation of Israel were come out of Zion.
now read it one more time.
Oh, that the salvation of Israel were come out of Zion.
Oh, that the salvation of Israel will come out of Zion. Okay? And it's talking about coming out of Zion because why? Zion is the people of the Most High, and Zion is the place of the Most High. Understand? It's the place, Mount Zion, and it's also the people of the Most High. Yasha'Allah. It represents both. Okay, Khan? Okay, go ahead up.
When the Most High bringeth back the captivity of his people.
What does that mean? Bringeth back the captivity of his people. You gonna bring us back into captivity? Yeah, go ahead up.
He gonna release us from captivity.
Yeah, there you go. But you notice how the word makes it sound like he's gonna bring us back. See how the remember earlier was the translation, transliteration. It almost makes it seem like he's gonna bring you back into captivity, right?
Retract.
Right. Okay. Retract. That's a good word too. Right. So he's not talking about bringing us back. He's talking about he's going to bring us out of captivity, bring us from captivity. Go ahead. Up. Yeah.
Get another bone, man.
Yeah. Another bone. Okay. Okay. Go ahead. Up. Read on.
Jacob shall rejoice.
And Jacob shall rejoice. It's talking about Yasha'Allah, 12 tribes. Go ahead. Up.
And Israel shall be glad.
And Israel shall be glad. How about that? We're going to be glad. Now get Jeremiah 9:23. Jeremiah 9:23.
Jeremiah chapter 9 and verse 23.
That's why we urge you to make sure you bring your Bibles. All right? Because we go through the scripture and then write it down. Because when you write it down, now you go home and study it. And then when you begin to read it, then the Most High can work through you so you can have understanding. And then you go home and you meditate on what you read and everything. And then you get understanding that way. Don't come here without no Bible, brothers and sisters. Don't come here without no Bible. Does that look right? You going to college, but you forgot your books at home? But you're going to sit in the class and then the professor says, open up your book to page, and you ain't got the book there. You wouldn't do that, would you? So why would you come here without a Bible? It doesn't make any sense. Brothers come here with their phone. Come on, don't show me a phone, brother. You know what I'm saying? Don't show me no phone. You come here with a phone, and next thing you know, you read the scriptures out of your phone. That's not appropriate. That is not appropriate. Okay? Even the scripture says, and the books were open. Even in the heavens, the Most High said what? The books are open. So if the Most High got a book and he's opening his book, and here you come with your iPhone talking about, I'm a Google of the scriptures. That doesn't make any sense. Do you understand?
Come.
Yahushua said, I come in the volume of the book.
Come.
And here you come with a Galaxy S9 or whatever they call it. Talking about, I got it here. And then brother got the nerve to say, brother, I'll read for you. I said, well, where's your Bible? I got it right here. No, you ain't reading for me. Know what I'm saying? You can read for your son and your daughter at the house, but you ain't reading for me. Yeah, go ahead.
Telephone, get the Esau vibration.
Yeah, it's Esau's vibration. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make any sense. So we urge brothers and sisters to bring their books. Okay? And you also got to bring your Apocrypha. Some of you have Bibles with Apocryphas in it, and that's good. Okay? Okay, go ahead, up.
We're not telling them they can't use your cell phone.
No, we're not telling them that.
To get information.
Right.
You use your cell phone to get scripture
Right.
and stuff you need.
that you
might
need.
get quick and fast.
Right. But we're saying when we go in class, the class is being taught, you should have your book open, not your iPhone or your cell phone. Yeah, of course, you're going to use your phone other times, but we're talking about in class. All right? And bring a notebook. You should bring a notebook and a pen. Because you're going to write down. So how are you going to do that? All you got is a cell phone. How are you going to write down things? This doesn't make any sense. Okay, so that's very important. Okay, go ahead, Up.
Jeremiah chapter 9 and verse 23. Thus saith the Most High, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom, neither let the mighty man glory in his might.
See that? Don't let the wise man glory in his wisdom. It's like we were saying earlier about the base. The Most High going to choose the base of his people to confound the wise. So don't let the wise man glory in his wisdom, because you really don't have no wisdom when it comes to the word of the Most High. All right? All wisdom is but little to the wisdom of the Most High. Okay, go ahead, Al.
Neither let the mighty man glory in his might.
They're talking about, what's it talking about? The wisdom of the world. Worldly wisdom. There's nothing good, right, compared to the wisdom of the Most High. So that's why the Most High teaches, get knowledge, get wisdom, right? But above all, get understanding. And it's talking about get understanding above the wisdom, so-called wisdom of the world. Right? Because the wisdom of the Most High exceeds the wisdom of the world. It exceeds Christianity. Christianity is a philosophy of the Roman Catholic Church. That's all Christianity is. It's nothing. And then all the other religions come under the Roman Catholic Church. So they all have their base philosophy, but they all stem from the Roman Catholic Church. Right? And then there's nothing. That's the wisdom of the world. Religion, the wisdom of the world, is nothing. And then, of course, and then next is the politics, the political wisdom. It's nothing. Polytricks. They're tricking you. All lies. All polytricks. That's all it is. The Democratic Party and the Republican Party. Understand? And the Independent Party. All of them. And the Green Party. Blue Party, Red Party, whatever they got. All of them. Communism, nothing. Nationalism, nothing. All that stuff. Women's lib movement, worst thing ever invented. I'm serious, it is. The worst thing ever invented. Because the black woman attached herself to the women's lib movement. Worst thing. White man knew what he was doing. Because he knew that was going to cause problems in the black community. Once the black woman thinks she's free from the black man, forget it, brother. You're finished. You're finished. You may as well just let her go. You may as well let it go. Worst thing. You know what I'm saying? Homosexuality, worst thing. LGBT community, no wisdom in that. It's the worst thing in the earth. A man wants to, cut off his member parts, and now he wants to be a woman. That's the worst thing. Come on, what kind of mentality is that? Even a dog won't even do that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Then he changed his mind, want to go back to being.
Yeah, and then when he changed his mind. I can imagine Esau cut his penis off, said, well, man, the operation been a year ago. If we had your penis around, it might be but it's gone now. This is madness. But you know whose penis they gonna come for? I know a black man with a big penis out there. He's coming for yours, brother. Hey, you got my penis! I want it back.
Barak, you'll make it work too. You'll make it work too.
They'll make it work. Oh yeah, they can make it work. They can make it work, brother. Yeah. But look, they got all your body parts anyway, right? Are they killing you? All your body parts? And the penis is the main thing they want. That's why they castrated you in slavery. They saved the penis. They put it up there in museums. mean, come on, man. That's madness. Yeah, go
They
ahead.
invented a machine that
Stuff
extracts
between this.
melanin from dead bodies.
Really?
Wow.
Extract, how do you know that? Extract melanin, extract your color from it.
Yeah.
They're taking your color too.
Get his sunscreen bottles.
This is sick. This is sick, dude. Sick bastard, right? That's Esau, sick. That's why the most I wouldn't have him sit the dogs of my flock. See? Even the dog is better than him. You know what I'm saying? He defiles the dog. The dog is the dog. The dog is not defiled the way the Most High created. That's what they do.
Right.
But Esau defiles that.
Right.
He defiles what's not defiled, but it's a dog is a dog. But he defiles that. Sick. Go ahead.
Precept Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 1. He that is wounded in the stones or hath his privy member cut off shall not enter into the congregation of the Most High.
Right, so you LGBT, trannies, and all that stuff, you will not enter into the kingdom of heaven. That's it. That's it. There's a lot of brothers doing that stuff, and that's it for them. Basically, they're just living until the time for the Most High to take them out.
Even if
That's it.
even if they try to repent.
Yeah.
Can't repent after that.
But what's the Most High? Okay, yeah, they can repent. But what's the Most High going to do? You can't enter in. You can't enter in. So it's best for them to be put to death and come back in reincarnation. They get a new penis. It's sick society. Okay.
Next one on.
This is sick. Go ahead, Doc. Tell me where you left off.
Jeremiah 9 and 23. Let not the rich man glory in his riches, but let him that glorieth glory in this, that he understandeth and knoweth me, that I am the Most High which exercise loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness in the earth. For in these things I delight, saith the Most High.
All right, see? Don't let the rich man glory in his riches. So showing you the Most High is not about riches. Come. And then Yahweh Shai comes back and says, your life consists not in the thing that you possess. Possessions mean nothing to the Most High. Because it's all temporary. This is a temporary world and society. It's all temporary. They got it. He's finished. He's pretty much finished. Right? And a lot of other ones. That's it. So it's temporary. Go ahead, up.
Verse 25. Behold, the days come, saith the Most High, that I will punish all them which are circumcised with the uncircumcised.
See? That's the circumcised Israel, right? That's Yashala. But who are the uncircumcised? It's going to tell you. Go ahead.
Egypt.
Egypt is one.
And Judah.
Yes, see, Mosai classified Judah, meaning the wicked of Judah. See, Yahweh, the wicked of Judah is uncircumcised. Why? Because you run around saying, I'm the Egyptology, I'm the Egyptian. So the Mosai says, no, you're uncircumcised. I don't want you. He cast them out, cast them away. I don't want you. So all this, consciousness movement and Egyptology movement, forget about it, brother. That's why I don't go to them debates and all that. I don't go to that crap. You know what I'm saying? For what? It's madness. Nothing comes from it, nowhere. Right? Nothing comes from it. So it's just madness. So the Most High says, you're an uncircumcised too. If you're going to follow the nations and what they do and their idol gods and all that, then the Most High says, you're uncircumcised. Even though we are the circumcision. Understand? Go ahead, up.
And Edom.
Edom, uncircumcised. The devil, uncircumcised. Okay, go ahead, up.
And the children of Ammon.
Ammon, uncircumcised. Go ahead.
And Moab.
Moab, uncircumcised. Go ahead.
And all that are in the utmost corners, that dwell in the wilderness. For all these nations are uncircumcised.
The Most High love everybody?
All these nations are uncircumcised.
The Most High hate you to be uncircumcised. Come. So that means he hates your nations. Come. It's as simple as that. Most High just putting it a different way, but he's saying that they're uncircumcised to me. Most High don't deal with them. See, that's why the scripture said they abhorred Yahweh Shai, what we read earlier. Because the Most High said, you uncircumcised. And the nations read those scriptures, they know that. They know Yahweh Shai detests them. All right? So how are we, as the children of the Most High, we sit there and follow these nations and follow their gods and all that? You turning Yahweh Shai against you. And you don't want to do that, brother. Okay, go ahead, Al.
And all the house of Israel are uncircumcised in the heart.
See? We're uncircumcised in the heart. Because the brother, why say it like that? Because the brother might say what? Yahweh Shai, I'm glad to see you. See, I'm uncircumcised, see? But Yahweh Shai is going to say what? Depart from me. You're a worker of iniquity. Because why? You're uncircumcised in the heart, in the mind. You're still wicked as hell. Yahweh Shai don't care if you're circumcised. Right? Physically you're circumcised, but in your spirit, if you're uncircumcised, right? You're still wicked as hell. Yahweh Shai is not dealing with you. So he's going to say, depart from me. I never even knew you. That's what he's going to say. Go ahead, Doc. Was that it?
Yeah.
Did you read to 26?
Come.
Okay. Get Luke 177. The path to salvation. That's what this was about. What's the path? Remember, broad is the way that leadeth to destruction. And everything is broad out there. Look out at the world. Everything is out there. It's easy access to everything. Easy access to all fornication, adultery, madness, homosexuality. It's all broad. It's out there. World, politics. Everything's out there. But narrow is the way that leadeth to the kingdom. Huh? But there's fire on one side and water on the other. And you have to walk the path. You see the kingdom, but you haven't walked the path yet. And if you're not willing to walk the path, well then the kingdom is not for you. It's not for you. Because Jacob's trouble is coming. The 7-year tribulation period is coming. The Antichrist is coming. All these things are coming. See? Right? The 7 last trumpets are coming. 7 last vials are coming. The 7 plagues are coming. All these things are coming. Right? And you gotta walk through that narrow path. Okay? Look, in the end, a lot of our people, they're gonna join with the Antichrist. Because they're gonna feel their safety in joining with the Antichrist. Do you understand? They're gonna feel safety. But the Antichrist is only going to be given about 7-year rule, and then you got the Great Tribulation period, a 3.5-year rule. Then that's pretty much it. So you're going to sell out to the Antichrist for about 7 years, 3 years, whatever, and then that's it. You're going to give up the kingdom of heaven for the 7-year rule with the Antichrist? You out of your damn mind. People are stupid. And some other people are going to make that choice. That's why I said Israel. Coming out of Egypt, right? He said, Israel, choose you this day who you going to choose to serve. See, the Most High did give us choices, didn't he? He did give us choices. He didn't make us like robots. He gave you a mind. You can think. He gave you knowledge and wisdom. See, remember we read earlier in Ezekiel 37? He breathed into you that life, your identity. He gave you understanding where you could choose. Which one are you going to choose? There's all those things that are coming, Scripture says. Because it tell you there's going to come a man, and his number is 600, 606. It's the number of a man. And he's coming. And he's coming, he's going to have a bow in his hand. He's going to have a crown on his head. He's coming on a white horse. And he's coming to do what? Conquer and to be conquering. So he's coming. That means he's going to be a killer. And he's not going to care who you are. And he's mainly after the children of Israel. Mainly after our people. That's who he's mainly after. Okay, so, but it's going to come on a higher level. The level you see now, okay, that's one level. And you still see some of that on this level. But once you enter into that tribulation period, it's going to be a whole different ball game then. Where thousands going to die on your right side and thousands going to die on the left side. But who are the faithful? No harm should come near them. Right. The scripture said it. Okay, go ahead, Al. Tell me where you at.
Luke chapter 1 and verse 77. To give knowledge of salvation unto his people.
Say, give knowledge of salvation. This is what you're getting now. Are you saved yet? Is anybody saved?
No.
Christian churches, they already saved. How the hell that happened? It just left you behind. But nobody's saved. All we're getting is knowledge of salvation. That's what you're getting. The knowledge of salvation. Okay, go ahead, Al.
To give knowledge of salvation unto his people by the remission of their sins.
Right, see? You're getting knowledge to know how to abstain from sin. So you can get remission of your sins. See, that's what you're getting. So you don't walk into a church and say you're saved. You walk into a church and ask, how can I get knowledge so I can learn how to repent for my sins? That's what you ask for. Understand? So, you know, all these people are out here being put to death, or they come out of Christian churches and everybody's saved. So, you know, so they're backwards. Doesn't make any sense, right? Get Isaiah 61 and 10. No, get Acts 16, 17. Acts 16, 17.
Acts chapter 16 and verse 17. The same followed Paul and us and cried, saying,
Same followed Paul and us, cried, saying, go ahead.
These men are the servants of the Most High Power.
See, they're the men of the Most High Power. See, when you're in the spirit of the Mashiach Yahushua, people are going to say that about you. And people have said it about me. You know, people have said it about me. They said that they could see the spirit of the Most High in me. They'll give a comment like that. I see the Most High in you. They give it a comment like that. Say, go ahead, up.
Which show unto us the way of salvation.
See? Paul showed them the way of salvation. Did he say they were saved? No. He just showed them the way of salvation. That's our job. That's our duty here, to show you the way of salvation. Because we can't save you. You come to me after salvation, I'm going to say, well, this is what Yahushua said. Do what Yahushua say do. And then in the acceptable time, then you'll be saved. How about that? But not now. Not now. I got news for you. A lot of our people are going to be delivered from America, brought into the wilderness, and still won't be saved. Because a lot of us think we're going to be, that's our salvation. That's going to be a stage of salvation, but it won't be the salvation. Do you understand? Come. Oh yeah, salvation is also in stages too. How about that? This is one part of it too. Remember, it said to give knowledge. This knowledge is part of a stage of salvation. You understand? And then of course it's going to rise to different stages until that ultimate. Understand, Con? That's what we're dealing with here. See? But you delivered, chariots come and deliver you from the destruction and so forth and bring you to the other part of the earth, and we're going to go into the wilderness. You're not necessarily saved all the way yet. Because what's going to happen? He's going to deliver rebels into the wilderness, and you're going to be delivered from the destruction. But now he got to purge you into the wilderness? In the wilderness? Why? Because you're wicked as hell still. That's why. See? Because the same thing coming out of Egypt. You've seen the 10 plagues. You've seen the angel of death kill the firstborn. What more do you need?
Done.
And then to top it off, Moses said, I'm going to open up the Red Sea. Just so you can, put the icing on the cake. Moses said, where's my cake? I got to put icing on the cake. They put the icing on and open up the Red Sea. Never seen before in history, never heard of before in history. And that's why the nation said, who the hell are these people the Most High do that for? We got to take them out. That's why all those nations in the wilderness were coming after us. They got, jealous.
Done.
Because they knew that the Most High was with us. And they knew eventually we were going to take over this earth. They said, we got to take them out. That's why they're trying to take you out now. But it's more institutionalized now. They do it with diseases. They do it with abortion. What's the woman that started the abortion thing? Margaret Sanger. She said, keep it quiet. This is to kill, exterminate niggas. What she said? Exterminate all niggas. Okay? But shh. Be quiet.
About equal rights.
So teach them to have abortions. And then teach the black woman to live like a single life. And then the TV show comes on, living single. And you got all these millions of black women living single, having abortions left and right. I know women that had 8 abortions. I know a couple. Yeah.
And Hillary was her lieutenant.
Huh?
And Hillary was her lieutenant.
Yeah. And Hillary supported her, right? Supported her, yeah.
There was a point in time too in history, like when a black woman went to have like a baby, instead of taking back her womb, they will cut up her womb so that she couldn't have no more.
She couldn't have no more, right? See? Annihilate the children of Israel. That's what they were trying to do. Or do like Pharaoh did. Pharaoh said, look, to the midwives, the Israelite midwives. Look, all the children that from 2 years old and down, get rid of them. And the babies that are coming forth, get rid of them.
That was Herod.
Herod. Yeah, that was Herod.
But the Egyptians said,
I mean the Pharaoh, right.
Male child.
Yeah, same difference. Whether it's Herod or Pharaoh, I don't care. The same difference. Right. It's the same thing. Same spirit, right? Same spirit. Yeah, it's the same spirit. Just that one was during that time when it was Pharaoh, and then it came back again through Herod.
Yeah.
Same demon trying to take you out. So, but this is what's happening today. Same type of spirits today, that abortion thing. Understand? So, go ahead, Doc. Tell me where you at.
Can I say something too?
Yeah.
Because when you salvation, like it says, it's in stages of 3s.
Go ahead.
Right? The first one is the knowledge, give you the knowledge.
Knowledge.
The one is when we get into the wilderness.
Okay.
All right. And the final one, before we go back into the land.
Come.
All right. So it's a stage of 3s. The first stage is getting the knowledge. That's the first step.
That's right. So hear that? Stages. Remember, there's different stages. So 3 stages, and the Most High does things in 3s, right? 3 stages. Knowledge, right? And then into the wilderness, and then that final stage. Okay? That final stage, that redemption, that final stage. So those are the stages. See? So to give knowledge of salvation in that acceptable time. Most I said, I secured you in an acceptable time. Come? Those stages. Okay, come. Go ahead, up. You finished Acts?
16, 17.
Yeah. Acts 16, 17. Did I get Isaiah 61 and 10? Isaiah 61 and 10.
Isaiah chapter 61 and verse 10. I will greatly rejoice in the Most High. My soul shall be joyful in my power. For he hath clothed me with garments of salvation. He hath covered me with the robe of righteousness. As a bridegroom decketh himself with ornaments, and as a bride adorneth herself with jewels. For as the...
Okay. So now there's one part we want some understanding. So read that from the beginning again.
Isaiah 61:10. I will greatly rejoice in the Most High.
We're going to greatly rejoice, all right, in Yahweh. Bahasham Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. Go ahead.
My soul shall be joyful in my power.
See, you should be joyful in Yahweh. Go ahead.
For he hath clothed me with garments of salvation.
Yeah, so what are the garments of salvation? See, so it's using the term garments, right? It's using the term garments. The garments are like clothing, right? So you put on clothing, right? Huh? Yeah, that's part of it too. The laws, statutes, commandments. Just like the scriptures teach you about the armor, right? Put on the armor. You got that?
In Ephesians.
Yes. Tell me that.
Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Most High and the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of the Most High.
All right, see? So Isaiah said garments, but here in Ephesians, Paul's saying armor. Same thing. What do you do with armor? You put it on. And you put it on, what do you put armor on for?
Protect
Protect you. See? So when you're going through the tribulation period, what's going to protect you? The armor, right? And that is the Mashiach Yahushua. You got to literally put Yahushua on you. The only way you can do that is through the word. Come? The only way you can do that is through the word. You got to put Yahushua on you. Because, again, it's coming. Tribulation period, Jacob's trouble, it's coming. The only way you're going to be able to stand protected is you got to put that armor, put this armor on. The Mashiach Yahushua. Okay, come. Is that in Isaiah? 10 verse.
10.
Yeah.
Con.
That was it, right? And get to one in Ephesians again. You finish that? And read that one more time.
Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 10. Finally, my brethren,
Finally, go ahead.
be strong in the Most High.
Be strong in Yahushua. See? Not tentative, not apprehensive. Don't be cold. Don't be lukewarm. Understand? Shouldn't be cold either, but Yahushua said he would rather you be, you know what I'm saying? He would rather you be hot or cold, but don't be lukewarm. So that's the worst thing, okay? So, be strong. Go ahead, Doc.
And in the power of his might.
In the power of his might. Be strong in that. Go ahead, Doc.
Put on the whole armor of the Most High.
See, the whole armor. See? So not half an armor. Because when you go into war and you only put half your armor on, what's going to happen? Yeah. You know, the darts can get through, can't they? The sword can get through. So you want to be protected of all the fiery darts of Satan. Come? Go ahead up.
That ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
See, the wiles of the devil. Which means what? The devil is out here. See? The wiles of Satan is out here. And they'll take you out. They're taking our people out.
Yes. Yes.
Setting you up. That's why you got to be careful. They're setting you up. Right? In every manner or aspect of life that's out there, they're trying to set our people up. To take you out. That's the wiles of Satan. Understand? On your job. Satan tries to set you up. All of a sudden, you get into a confrontation with an Edomite or whatever, and then you say one wrong thing, boom, you fired. Set up. Because you know you're an Israelite. Understand? So, you know, you get stopped running a red light or stop sign or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And you don't listen to the police, or because you know you're an Israelite, so now you got that little rough edge on you because you hate the white man. And you say the wrong thing, boom, they slam you to the ground. You better hope they don't take out their guns and shoot you. Set up, see? So you just got to be careful. You got to be circumspect, right? But then be able to be wise as a serpent, right? Harmless as a dove. Understand? Because Satan is looking to set you up, to get you in some type of confrontation. Understand? Well, all of a sudden, he's heading you off to jail, but you got a job to go to in the morning. Well, that's over with. Just like that. So you got to be careful. Go ahead up. Who had their hand up?
Get your hand up, brother. All right, then. Matthew 5:25.
Okay, we're not going to read it. We're not going to read it right now. We ain't got too much time. Okay. Did you finish that up?
Yeah. Finish that one while the devil.
Okay.
113?
Yeah, go ahead.
Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 13. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, having done all to stand.
Okay, so having done all to stand. Now get Acts 4:11-12. Okay.
Acts chapter 4 and verse 11. This is the stone which was set at naught of
See?
the builders.
See, who's the stone? That's the Mashiach. It was set at naught by the builders. And the builders are the leaders of Israel. The kings and leaders of Israel. Set at naught by the builders. Go ahead, up.
Which has become the head of the corner.
And Yahushua is the head of the corner, the chief cornerstone. That's the Mashiach Yahushua. Okay, go ahead up.
Neither is there salvation in any other.
See what the scripture says? There is no salvation in any other. See, the path to salvation is through the Mashiach Yahushua. Come? That's the path. You got to walk that path. Right? The path to salvation is not Jesus. It's the Mashiach Yahushua. Come? That's the path. Right? And you gotta walk that path. What did Yahushua teach us to do? So what does it say in the gospel? Yahushua said, love one another. He said, the nations are going to know you're my servants when you begin to love one another. How about that? That's what he said. He said, be hospitable toward one another, courtesy. Love one another, bear one another's burdens. He did say that, didn't he? We don't do none of that. No, we're the ones saying you the real Jews. We don't, there's no unity, we don't love one another, there's no hospitableness. I mean, I think we're starting to get to that point, but still, we're starting to get to that point, but still it has to come on the next level. That's what he said. But that's the path. If you don't want to go for that path, well, it's not for you. So if you don't want to love thy brother, unify, help that brother in time of need. He said, if you help your brother in time of need, just like you helped Yahushua.
Yes.
Right? But if you don't want to do that, and you don't want to walk that path, it's not for you. I'm going to tell you, the kingdom is not for everybody. Not for everybody. It's like, like we said, going back to Mount Zion, going back to Jerusalem, that's not for everybody else. Some brothers are just not ready to go back. They want to stay in America. They want to stay and have their, little toys here, whatever they have. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to give this up. You got to be willing to give it up, like in a heartbeat, just like Lot did. Give it up in a heartbeat. Come? So that's the path to salvation. It's through the Mashiach Yahushua. Okay, come? All right. So Shabbat Shalom.